Few players on the international scene are able to claim such a rich and ambiguous relationship as Israel and the European Union. It's not always been smooth sailing, but with Slovenia now steering the EU Council, ties could improve. As president of the Council, Slovenia has no real governing power, but it does have the ability to set the agenda. An important position for Israel, which has seen most European countries express harsh criticism on Israel-affiliated topics.
We as well tried to bring this agenda with a very intensive cooperation with Israel on the EU level. And in that sense, I'm very glad that from the both sides, so even from Slovenia and Israel and from the EU side, there's a strong commitment for enhance this cooperation.
Economic and institutional ties between Israel and the European Union are strong, but their political relations are complex, mostly due to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. While much of Western Europe is seen as leaning more toward the Palestinian side than the Israeli, nowadays there's been a dramatic shift within Central and Eastern Europe.
The party that I'm coming for, we were always, proponent and those who supported very intensive relation with Israel, especially now when it's very important or very situation in the world offers so many challenges. We think that this cooperation should be even stronger.
That renewed alliance was evident during the most recent conflict between Israel and Gaza, as both Slovenia and neighboring Austria stood with Israel.
Slovenia always support the view that countries has its right to defend themselves against terrorism, against extremist group, and against those who threaten the democracy order in the country. We several times underlined that message as well. As you know, in last month of year 2020, we as well designated Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. So there can be no doubt regarding that.
And at the heart of that conflict, Jerusalem. Since the 2017 U.S. Embassy relocation announcement, some nations have moved their embassies, but no EU state has done so.
Our main goal and important task is to, let's say, even intensify the relations between Slovenia and Israel. And as I said, it would be much easier as well if Israel consider opening embassy in Ljubljana, especially now with the new foreign minister who has very, let's say, intensive plan on opening new embassies around the globe.
While the European Union often holds a common stance on many policies, individual member states sometimes have their own outlook. And in the case of Iran, Slovenia's Prime Minister Janez Janša sided with Israel, drawing much ire from fellow European nations.
We are very concerned by Iran's advancement in its nuclear program, and as well by the fact that IAEA access to key information has been restricted. The main goal is that Iran does not get the nuclear arsenal, which would be an imminent threat for the security of the globe.
Under the previous Netanyahu-led Israeli government, stronger relations with Central and Eastern European countries, often run by right-wing or populist leadership, was a top priority. But Israel recently swore in new leadership.
There's always relation between the nation, between the countries. So whatever government is on a position, I think it's in mutual interest to have a very good and intensive relation.
The new Israeli coalition's mission now is not to only preserve these forged ties, but also the general improvement in relations with EU member states across the board, a mission in line with that of Slovenia.